Imagine a quiet, peaceful lakeside town, a place where everyone knows your name, and nothing bad ever happens. Now imagine that one summer night, a local teenager vanishes without a trace, leaving behind only a single, blood-stained shoe at the water's edge. No signs of struggle, no ransom, no Hust Silenze. What happened at Lake Haven? Tonight, we are rediving into the chilling true story that shook an entire community and left authorities puzzled for years. Her name was Emily Carter, a 17-year-old high school student with a bright future. Friends described her as cheerful, ambitious, and caring. On the evening of July 12, 2003, Emily was last seen walking along the shores of Lake Haven on her way to meet friends for a summer bonfire. Witnesses remember seeing her smile, chatting with friends, unaware that the night would end in tragedy. As darkness fell, Emily never returned home. Concerned friends alerted her parents, who immediately called the local authorities. A search began. Boats combed the water. Search dogs scoured the surrounding forest, and helicopters hovered above, their spotlights cutting through the fog. But despite hours of searching, there was no sign of Emily. The only clue, a single red sneaker floating near the pier. Questions swirled. Had she fallen into the lake? Was it an accident? Or something far more sinister? Detectives interviewed everyone who had been at the lake that night. Friends, family, and even strangers passing through. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until one witness came forward. They claimed to have seen a suspicious van parked near the pier, windows tinted, engine running, and the driver watching the lake intently. But when police tracked down the vehicle, it was gone. No plates, no trace, no leads. Without any concrete evidence, the case quickly turned cold. Emily's disappearance became a haunting mystery in the town's collective memory. Years passed. The town tried to move on. But then, in 2009, a hiker discovered human remains buried near an old hunting cabin, miles from the lake. Forensic experts confirmed the remains were Emily's. And while this discovery answered one question, it raised many more. How did she end up there? And who was responsible? DNA evidence from the crime scene eventually led detectives to a prime suspect, a man who had been living in the town for several years. His criminal history raised red flags. But there was still a problem. There was no direct eyewitness testimony linking him to Emily's disappearance. Investigators had to rely on circumstantial evidence, careful piecing together of his movements, and painstaking forensic work. The trial revealed chilling details. The suspect had lured Emily away under the guise of helping her with a school project. Once solated, he attempted to cover his tracks, meticulously burning clothing, moving her belongings, and creating false alibis. But the persistence of the investigation uncovered hidden messages on his phone, inconsistencies in his statements, and forensic traces connecting him to the crime. Each piece of evidence slowly built a picture of what happened that night, one that was horrifying in its clarity. The courtroom was tense. Family, friends, and townspeople watched as the evidence was laid out, every detail painting a story of manipulation and violence. The jury listened intently as forensic experts explained the DNA evidence, the timeline of events, and the suspect's actions before and after Emily's disappearance. It became clear that this was not a random tragedy, but a carefully orchestrated crime. After days of testimony, the verdict came. Guilty, relief, and grief collided in the courtroom. The suspect was sentenced, but the emotional impact on the community and Emily's family would never fully fade. Her story became a somber reminder of the fragility of safety and the darkness that can hide in seemingly quiet towns. Yet, it also highlighted the relentless dedication of investigators who refused to let a case fade into oblivion. Emily Carter's disappearance and the subsequent revelation of what happened serve as a cautionary tale, a story that continues to haunt Lake Haven. It reminds us that even in places where life seems peaceful, danger can be closer than we think. And it is a story of persistence, justice, and the human determination to uncover the truth, no matter how long it takes.